Hello, my crafty friends. It's Michelle, the Southern Shell, and as you can hear, I'm feeling so much better. Thank you for all your prayers as I was sick and getting better. Welcome you to the Mixed Media Take 5 collaboration. This is hosted by Jeannie with Jeannie's Palette and Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration. Links to their channels, along with the playlist, will be in my description box below, along with any links of things that I have purchased that I can find for you.
All right, friends. So I had made something for the mixed media collaboration, and this is my page. And I went and I took my SD card and got it onto my laptop, and then the whole folder was gone off my laptop. I have no idea what I did, but I had 2 videos that were on there, and they're both just gone, and they've already been deleted off the SD card. So anyway, I'm going to start over with a new page. So this is what I did for my first one, but let's go ahead and switch pages and start a whole new one. We'll just start a new one here. And what I do is I have my HP paper that is 32 pound, and this paper is gorgeous. It's yummy, and that's the same stuff I used on here, and it's just absolutely wonderful. So let's get started all over again.
Okay, so the first thing I have is my Mr. Huey, and I have these in several colors. It came in a kit from Tuesday Morning some time ago. And so I'm just mixing them up, giving them good shake to make sure all that pigment is mixed in there. And I'm going to start spritzing my paper with this sprayer. Now I'm going to start with the red, and I'm just letting it fall where it falls. And that now has to dry. Before I add any other color to the top of it, I need it to dry. So I am just taking one layer of a napkin that I had used as decoupage. I'm using the plain layer, and this is going to blot up any heavier dots. And I've also used a blow dryer, but I also flipped this over and came in with my iron to help make sure that was all dry and ready to go. And now I'm going to go ahead and go in with another color, giving it a good shake. I think this one is the blue. And I'm using my little paper back there just to stop it from spritzing all over my desk. And so I'm just going to continue to come in and lay some of these colors down as I start to build up my page. I do come in with my heat gun and I give it a little bit of a little bit of a blow here to help get that dry between my layers of color. And now I'm going to go ahead and come in with another color. So this is the third. I believe this one is the yellow. Yes, the yellow. And this is just going to give me some nice springy colors. And you can see if you lay it down, if it goes kind of over, you do get a little muddy effect. So you want to make sure that you're putting that down and being careful how you're laying your colors. And then the last one I'm going to come in is with some green. Now these have odd names. They're not marked red, yellow, green. One of them is called Donna. One of them is called Shell. So I try to spritz them on a napkin or a scrap paper to see the exact color. Once again, coming in and ironing that back just to help heat that up and keep it dry. So now that it's dry, I'm going to pick out some spring colors for my flowers. Now this is Mentos little ink pads, and they're in the shape of little petals, and so they're perfect for a project like this. So I have out a light and a dark color in each, and then I have a green one. And I'm like, why do I have one spare one there? Because I put the green on top of the other. But you see here, I'm just going to come in and press that ink pad down, and I'm doing 5 all the way around. And I'm going to do a blue one on each page, and then a purple one and a yellow one. You get the idea. I'm going to come in and lay that down, and I'm going to do the same thing with each of my lighter colors on my ink pads. I did one of the sides, I did put a piece of scrap paper underneath it so that if I went off the edge, it did not get on my mat, but it gave me an overlapping effect. And now I'm going to come in. I was like, okay, am I going to do a yellow one? I'm like, no, I think 3 flowers on each page is perfect. So I didn't do the yellow. I'm going to come in now with the darker color for each one. So here's the darker blue. And I'm going in between the first 5 petals that I made for that flower and adding the darker shade right on top of that. I'm going to do the same thing with the blue and with that purple. Just coming in and stamping in between, creating a more full flower. Now, I only did it one time around with the first one I did, and I really do like the fullness of this one. So you want to make sure that whatever you're trimming your paper out to be, it's going to fit in your book nicely. The ones that I did first came right to the edge, and I wanted it to have a little more of a border. So I did cut this one down a little bit shorter. I cut this 9 by 7, and that way it would fit nicely in my book, and I'd have a little room to add any lace or anything else I wanted to. So now I'm just going to line it up on my mat again, use my ruler, my metal ruler, and my blade, and trim off that extra right there. And now I have 2 pages ready to be decorated to go in my art journal. Now I'm coming in with my Nouveau drops, and I wanted to go ahead and use, this one is oh, it's a fall color that they've had, and it's a glitter one. And I've had it for quite some time, so I did have to use a needle, come in and poke it a little bit. I think it's like a copper rose. Couldn't see that worth diddly. But I just came in and I put 5 dots on the center of each of my flowers. What I do to one page, I do to the other, and it's just going to be a reflection of what each page is. They're just not in the same areas. I wanted it random. So once again, just 5 dots in the center of each of my flowers, and they're all going to be that same pretty harvest color. And then I realized I didn't put my leaves down yet, and I really like to have that down before I put the dots because they do have to dry a little bit. So I just had to be careful as I'm coming in and using the green to pull the leaves in. And I'm just laying that other paper underneath there in case I go off the edge, which is fine because you want it to look like it's never ending. And since I already trimmed it, it would have been right where I would have placed those anyway. So now I'm going to come in with my VersaFine ink, and I have the stamp set here from May, and I'll have to look up what the name of the stamp set is. I will leave it in the link below if she still has it available. I was a subscriber to her monthly kits for quite some time, and I have a lot of her stamp sets. And she's just a wonderful crafter, another lovely lady who loves the Lord. Coming in with a lady to stamp one on each page. And this is a stamp set probably off of Temu or Wish or whatever. I've had it for some time. The stamps I get off of there are not the best, so I should have used my stamp positioner so that I could have come in and just restamped it, but that's okay. I came in with my marker in a little bit. Now I try to press down on this one a little bit more than I did the other one, and it still it still didn't do the best, but that's okay. Now I just went and found some buttons. I have some flower buttons and some feather buttons and some thread. I thought, okay, I'm going to go a little different on this one, and so I'm going to pull some thread off and just cut it and make some little remnants with my thread. I'm just going to ball it up a little bit in my hand, make a mess out of it. I've got some of my Beacons 3-in-1, and I'm going to lay just a tad down there. And then I'm just going to set that thread right on top and pop the button right on top of that thread. And I'm going to do this with the different colors. I got out 2 different colors of blue, 2 different colors of pink, 2 different colors of purple. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that with each one of these. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just pulling the thread off and wadding it up in my hand, just kind of getting it right there in a little bit of a mess, adding that glue down first, and then once I put the thread on top of it, I can pop a button on top of it and that glue will come right up on through that thread and you don't have to worry about it. So on the first spread I did, I came in with a black marker and outlined and made some squigglies. I am going to come in with the same colors that I have set here in some gel pens that are on my desk. So I pulled out, a purple and a blue and a red, and I came in and I did some little swirlies and just drew them around in different areas on my page. Once I had the swirls on there, I came in with the color coordinated pins and I just drew out haphazardly, very loosely around the outsides of the leaves and the petals on the flowers. This just gave it a more cartoony type look, but yet it gave it a little more finished edge on there than and I think I like the way the black looked. This is more subtle. So I did it the same way, but instead of having the stark contrast of the black, I went ahead and did it with the color coordinated um, gel pens here. I do think giving the outlines just a little bit on there does bring it up to a different level. It's not flat. It gives more dimension to my project. Went ahead and used my art glitter glue to glue my pages down into my journal. And I'm coming in with some lace to cover some of the edges and to add just a little bit of flair. I'm going to use my Beacons 3-in-1 to lay down right along that edge. I don't want it to go into the crease of my book. I want it to be towards the side so that it's not going to hinder closing. It's just going to add just a little bit of bulk there. I'm going to add a little hot glue to the top of that lace. I will pull it taut to the bottom and add a little hot glue to that bottom. And then that way I know that it's nice and straight and it's in there and it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to do another piece on the outside of the opposite page there. So I did the inside spine, I'm doing the opposite on the outside, and then I'm going to come in and do the same thing with some white lace that I did here to this purple lace, this plum.
Okay, there's my mixed media. Now this one, of course, I did a little different. I'm using the threads in there, and I outlined with similar colors instead of the black like I did on this page. I doubled up the stamping on the flowers where these are just single. I added the leaves closer to the flowers on this one, where here they're just kind of sporadic. Of course, the butterflies and just flowers and feathers. Let me know which one you like better. Very similar process. For the blue on this one, where I spritzed it and left it, this one I took a damp baby wipe and actually spread it smooth. So let me know which one you like better. I like them both, actually. They both have different aspects that stand out to me. Thank you guys for joining me today. Your time's precious. I know it. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend with me. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I hope you will consider doing so now by hitting that subscribe button. If you want to know when my latest video has gone live, hit that bell notification and YouTube should notify you. As always, guys, stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.